Hello everyone, myself Dr. P.P. Yadav. I am working as Assistant Professor of Physics in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I am from Applied Science Department. Today I will discuss magnetization and bound currents from Unit 2. First topic is magnetization. As we have already studied polarization in my previous lectures, lecture 4 and 5 from Unit 1. In polarization, we have studied the effect of electric field on the electric dipoles. What do you mean by polarization? Polarization is the process of alignment of electric dipoles in the direction of electric field. Same polarization, like a polarization, magnetization is used in magnetic field. Therefore, magnetization is the process of alignment of magnetic dipoles in the direction of the magnetic field. Magnetization is used in magnetic field, whereas polarization is used in electric field. Any macroscopic object consists of many atoms or molecules, each having electric charges in motion. With each electron in an atom or molecule, we can associate a tiny magnetic dipole moment. If there is a magnetic dipole, means combination of south and north pole, there is a magnetic dipole moment, means strength of the magnetic dipole. Ordinarily, the individual dipoles cancel each other because of their run-up orientation of their direction when there is no magnetic field. If you apply a magnetic field, means apply a force on that dipoles, then these dipoles, magnetic dipoles, are arranged in the direction of the magnetic field. And there is a net alignment of the magnetic dipoles occurs, and this process, alignment of magnetic dipoles in the direction of the field, is known as magnetization. The state of magnetic polarization means magnetization of a material is described by the parameter m, where m is a magnetization of the material, which is equal to magnetic dipole moment per unit volume. Now the next topic is, what is the origin of magnetism? The origin of magnetism lies in the fact that first is the electron rotating, revolving around the nucleus in an orbit is equivalent to circulatory current, which generates a time-varying magnetic field. Let's discuss how electrons generate a magnetic field. Here, this is a nucleus, which is a positive, and electron revolve around their orbit. If the electron revolve in the direction, in the clockwise direction, and due to movement of electron, there is a current, because the current is flow of charge. Therefore, current is produced in anti-clockwise direction. As we know that the direction of current and electron are always opposite to each other. If the current is in the anti-clockwise direction, therefore the upper surface of the cell orbit behave as a north pole. If the upper surface behave as a north pole, then the lower surface of the cell behave as a south pole. If there is a south and north pole, then they behave as a magnet. If there is a magnet, then there is a magnetic field. If there is a magnetic field, and also they have a dipoles for north and south pole, then there is a magnetic dipole movement. And what is the direction of magnetic dipole moment? As we know that the direction of the magnetic dipole moment is from south to north. And in this case, the lower surface behave as a south and upper surface behave as a north. Therefore, from the direction of the magnetic dipole is from inner to outer. This is the direction of dipole moment. This is inner to outer direction. Now, if the electron revolve in anti-clockwise direction, and therefore the current revolve in clockwise direction. If the current move in clockwise direction, then the upper surface behave as a south pole, and lower surface of that orbit is behave as a north pole, and the direction of the magnetic dipole is south to north, and therefore this direction is outer to inner. This is outer to inner side. The direction is inner side. Therefore, here magnetic field is produced without any external magnetic field. When electron revolve in a circular orbit, then there is current is generated. If current is generated, therefore here dipoles are created. Dipole is created. There exists a magnetic dipole moment. And this time varying magnetic field produces randomly oriented magnetic dipoles, north and south pole, in the absence of any external electric field, with non-zero magnetic dipole moment. Here there is a net magnetic moment in both the cases. Therefore, there is a non-zero magnetic dipole moment. And these magnetic dipoles depends upon the type of motion performed by the electron. Means what is the orbital motion or spinning motion of the electron. The electron in general performs the two types of motion in an orbit, namely orbital motion, when the electron revolve in around the nucleus in their orbit, and the second is the spinning motion. Now, orbital motion gives rise to orbital magnetic moment, and spin motion rise to spin magnetic movement of the electron. Let's discuss firstly what is orbital magnetic moment. An orbital magnetic moment is due to the orbital motion of the electron. This is due to the motion of the electron around the nucleus in their orbit. This is the center, means nucleus. This is the radius of the electron, and the velocity which acts tangentially, and this is the orbital magnetic moment mu, which is equal to current into area. Consider a charged particle electron moving in circular orbit. Now the magnetic moment mu is given as mu is equal to current into area. I is the current and A is the area of the orbit where electron revolves. If V is the velocity of the electron, then time period of the motion is, we know that velocity is distance upon my time, and whereas if time is here, then the distance means circumference of the orbit, which is equal to 2 pi r upon my velocity. If current we know that charge upon my time, here charge is electron and the value of time is 2 pi r by v. Here as we know that v is equal to r omega, linear velocity, there is a relation between linear velocity and angular velocity, and the net current is here e omega upon me 2 pi, and I also know that the area of the circular orbit is pi r square. Put all these values in equation 1, mu is equal to ia. The net resultant magnetic moment is equal to e omega r square by 2. Also, we know that angular momentum of the orbiting electron is L is equal to R cross P, where linear momentum is equal to mv. Therefore, L is equal to mvr. Put the value of V is equal to R omega. Therefore, L is equal to mr square omega. From equation 2, mu is equal to E omega R square by 2. Here multiply and divide by m. Therefore, the resultant E by 2m, mr square omega, replace this term by L. Therefore, mu is equal to minus E by 2m L. Here negative is used for electron because the charge on the electron is minus. Also in In terms of L, uh, replace L is equal to H cut under root L into L plus 1. Therefore, the orbital magnetic moment is equal to E H cut upon में 2m L into L plus 1 under root. And this quantity replaced by mu b, and the mu b is equal to E H cut upon में 2m. Put all these values, the resultant mu b is equal to 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24, and this mu b is known as Bohr magneton, and the value of Bohr magneton is 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24. Also, mu upon में L is equal to E by 2m, and this E by 2m is also known as orbital gyromagnetic ratio, represented by gamma. This is the orbital magnetic moment. Now the next is electron spin, means spin magnetic moment due to spinning motion of the electron about their own axis. As a result, they have both spin angular moment or spin magnetic moment. Here this is the nucleus, this is the angular momentum, this is the spinning motion of the electron about their own axis. This is the electron, this is the direction of the spin, and that this is the spin magnetic moment represented by mu s, that is equal to minus E by m, and this is S, angular momentum. Now, next topic is relation between B, magnetic field, H and M, where here H is the, B is the magnetic field, H is the magnetizing intensity, and M is the magnetization. First of all, what is H? H means the degree to which a magnetic field can magnetize a material is represented by H. Means H is equal to, there is a relation between B and H is equal to, B is equal to mu naught H in free space, and where mu naught is the permeability. Permeability means it is the ability of a material to permit the passage of magnetic lines of force through it. Now in a magnetic material, the above relation is written as B is equal to mu H. Mu naught is the absolute permeability of free space, and the mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Weber ampere inverse meter inverse, and mu is the absolute permeability of the medium, and where is the ratio of mu by mu naught is the mu r. This is the relative permeability of the magnetic material. Also, there is a relation between magnetization and magnetizing intensity H. There is a direct relationship. If we increased S, there is a more magnetization. More magnetization means number of dipoles are arranged in the direction of the field. If number of magnetic dipoles are arranged, therefore there increases M. And the proportionality constant is xi, and xi is known as magnetic susceptibility. And magnetic susceptibility, it is the property which determines how easily a material, a specimen, a object can be magnetized. This gives susceptibility. Now from equation 2, B is equal to mu h. If we replace mu by mu naught mu r and subtract, adding and subtraction by mu naught s, there is no effect. B is equal to, taking common mu naught h from this, mu r minus 1, mu naught h plus mu naught h. Here mu r minus 1 is equal to susceptibility, and replace these terms by susceptibility. Mu naught h plus mu naught h, mu r minus 1 represents susceptibility, and B is equal to mu naught m because xi h is m. and mu plus mu naught h. Taking common mu naught, and here in bracket m plus h, and b is equal to mu naught m plus h. This is the relation between b, m and h, and this relation is same as like a electric field, where in electric field there is a relation between E, P and D. This is an important relationship between B, H and M. Now the next topic is bound current is very important. Bound current basically results from the contribution of all aligned atomic dipoles under the action of the magnetic field. Bound current is same as bound charges in electric field under the process of polarization. Means if we increase the electric field, there is a process of polarization in dielectric and bound charges are produced. Same here, under the process of magnetization, bound currents are created. Means magnetization means if arrangement or alignment of the atomic dipoles in the direction of the magnetic field. Let's derive the relation for bound current and bound surface current or bound volume current. Here, this is a magnetized material which M is given. Let's suppose a small volume element, and this is the position vector of volume element from origin R prime. Here, this is a vector potential A. Here we have to find the value of vector potential due to this volume element. And we know that the vector potential of a single dipole M, whose dipole moment is M, is given by AR. A is the vector potential. Here R is the position vector. Therefore, mu naught upon 4 pi M cross R unit vector, because here the position vector R, and therefore this direction is along R cap, represent R cap define the direction of that position vector, and upon R square. If we in the magnetized object, each volume element carries a magnet dipole moment m dito dash, because we know that magnetization is equal to dipole moment means m upon dito. Therefore, the value of m is equal to capital M is magnetization and dito dash, and replace this value by this, and taking integration, because we have to find the total vector potential. Therefore, AR is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi MR cap into MR dash into R cap unit vector R upon R square dito dash. By using the identity del prime 1 upon R is equal to if R unit vector upon R square, then replace this quantity by this. And equation 1, in equation 2, replace these terms by del dash 1 by R. Therefore, resulted equation is this: A unit vector mu naught upon 4 pi mr dash into del dash 1 by R dito dash. Now, using the product rule, del cross fa, if f is a scalar, A is a vector, del f cross A plus f del cross A. Using this relationship in this equation and integrate by parts, then we get AR mu naught upon 4 pi 1 upon R del prime into MR dash dito dash minus del dash cross MR dash upon R dito dash. And by using divergence theorem, we replace this volume integral into surface integral mu naught upon 4 pi 1 by R del dash cross MR dash d tau dash plus mu naught, because here change volume to surface, therefore there is a negative decrease. Therefore here already negative or also negative is appeared, then the negative negative positive mu naught upon में 4 pi volume changed into surface integral mr dash into unit vector n, and this is a surface area. Now mu naught upon में 4 pi 1 upon में r del dash cross mr dash d tau dash, this is the volume bound current jb plus mu naught upon में 4 pi mr dash cross n unit vector into dA dash. This is represented by KB, where is equal to mr dash into n unit vector. It is the surface bound current. If these are the volume and surface bound current, using this definition, the final expression for vector potential in terms of surface bound current and volume bound current is mu naught upon में 4 pi volume integral jb upon में r d tau dash plus mu naught upon में 4 pi surface integral kb by r dA dash. This is the surface bound current and this is the volume bound current. Now, important questions related to today's topics are: first is explain the process of magnetism. Second is what is the relation between B, H and M. And the third is what are bound currents? Explain. Thank you.